Yes, no, I've been on the map screen for a while now. Hit OK.
Yeah, I never did.
Yeah, me neither. But
Yeah, the round started.
I was too embarrassed to say anything. We're in safe start. We just went into safe start, so don't worry about it.
Whoops! The round started. It's Kujari, so let's do Homeworld.
I mean,
the Keepers.
I don't know. I've always had like a weird sense of confidence and attitude to things.
I guess what I'm trying to say is don't romanticize me. Don't consider me your superior. I'm literally just a fucking younger 20s. Actually, I'll be in my mid 20s soon. But I'm literally just trying to do what everyone wants me to do and going forward with that, you know? I'm just trying to entertain everyone. I'm trying to, do my own thing. And I'm just trying to live life, you know? That's all.
You say like don't romanticize you and don't look up to you, but like, what does that mean when you tell me to call you sir?
What?
Huh?
Go back to horny jail, right now.
Please.
Oh my god! Can we start with the round?
We just went to safe start, but we can look at the factions if you want to.
Well, yeah, but I'm gonna have part of this in the VOD, and then people are gonna question what the fuck we're talking. I cussed again. What we're talking about, and I want to limit that.
You want to do a clean start?
Clean start. Let's go. All right.
Count us down.
Huh?
Like the little countdown before they
Five,
go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Stop being horny and go.
Hi, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Liru Fucks Barbarian Hour. This is going to be a non-stop 1-hour session. Oh, sorry, wrong script. Welcome to round 2 of EU FNF.
Why do you always confuse what we do on Chatterbait with what we do on Twitch? Why?
I mean, it's just so similar, Twitch Chatterbait. Like, it's so...
No, don't add the word... whatever. Okay. GREENFOR is attacking 2 BLUFOR sectors for this round. GREENFOR is the attacking faction here. They are equipped with 2 BTR 80s and have a, what was it, 20% numbers advantage or 15% numbers advantage?
I think 20%. I think it's pretty much the same as last time. Like 65, 55, somewhere around there.
Of course. And BLUFOR is defending with a 1117 and 2 M2 statics. For those of you saying in chat that that's my Twitch career gone, don't worry, buddy. That was gone a long time ago. But regardless, we have BLUFOR as the defenders being a Desert Marpat camo with your standard 5.56 rifles, M249s, M240 for the squad, the machine gun team weaponry, and a Carl Gustav who's going to be used by Bassbeard today in the Charlie 2 faction. Marksman is going to be... Is that Flux? No, he doesn't have a gun. Oh, he just put it away and brought it back. No, it is Kane, who is one of the best players in FNF right now. They are the members from UPSC, which is actually a subsidiary of players who are from the old guard of the 501st back in 2018, where I was part of it. And I can attest that they are very, very good players, along with Scandi Recon here. But otherwise... Interesting enough, I do see an FK badge on Silver Jojo, that's it. Normally you only see, it used to be Olaf, but he switched, so now it's Fred from FK, but I guess he's starting to bring more people in, which is great. I love to see more representation from multiple different groups. What up?
My Arma and my OBS just crashed, so
I see.
I'm gonna be a second before I get back online.
All right, I will cover for you, and I will keep my mic going, so when you stream, you'll still get my voice in. And it did just say you disconnected, so hopefully you'll be back soon. I hope your computer is okay, and I just watched someone glide around flying. Cool. But otherwise, I suspect BLUFOR is going to be really defensive, especially with that 1117. As we talked about in the last round, 1117s are really good at sniping BTRs. So, looking at the GREENFOR faction attacking here, it is GREENFOR, which means we won't see our standard RHS, but it looks like it's our militia build up here. Interesting. So we're seeing 7.62 rifles and chest rigs and chest plates. So with the FNF mod that you have to download to play FNF stuff, it rescripts all chest rigs and armored vests into having the same armored value. So even if you have a chest rig with no plate carrier attached to it, which is the the plate that would normally stop bullets, it still acts as a plate carrier. So we are seeing plate carriers and chest rigs along all of these guys in GREENFOR to represent that militia faction, but we're also seeing 7.62 rifles, which are slightly better than 5.56. So if you normally with a 5.56 rifle you can 4-tap someone in the chest, with the 7.62 rifle you can 2 to 3-tap. It's a much more powerful weapon. So the attacking faction gets the better caliber. Interesting how that works. Otherwise, I mean, normally you would see a mix of calibers here, but I am seeing purely AKMs across the board. So everyone is going to get that 7.62 capabilities here. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I'll also answer that ping in just a moment, but give me a second. The squad automatic weapon, we are seeing PKMs and PKPs, RPG 26s for the single-shot squad-based AT. And if I were to find Charlie 2 real quick, we have an RPG 32 on station here. It's the Russian model, which gives it that nice green tint. And PKPs. So pure 7.62 across the board for the attacking faction, and they get transport trucks and those 2 BTR 80s. So
and someone
should be
stole
a
my
lot.
spectator slots.
Oof. Sorry to hear that, Barb.
Don't know if you could have spotted who.
I did not. Maybe chat was saying something, but I'll let them reply. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm a little buzzed right now, so I don't have to pay attention to those small details.
Oh.
Maybe message Nemesis and see if he can do something for you. But otherwise, it's a 7.62 with body armor versus 5.56, so the attacker's getting a nice advantage there. Those 2 BTR 80s, if they cover each other, are going to be great for supporting the infantry's push, but that again, that 117 is really good at taking out BTRs from range because it has double the ammunition capacity with that 50 cal that can penetrate the BTR's armor, whereas the 2 BTRs only have 50 rounds of that 14.5 millimeter that can penetrate the 117, excuse me, and that 250 round PKT on the 7.62. That little coaxial cannon you see by the main gun cannot penetrate a 117. I still work with the 506 every week. I either Zeus and Op for them. We just finished the Banganon incident campaign a few days ago, and they want to do Star Wars stuff now, so I will be prepping that. We'll see that again in 2 weeks. But the 501st I left a long time ago, and to avoid some really nasty stories, that's all I'm going to say about it. But a lot of people have left the 501st. For example, UPSC all left the 501st, but they were the really good players that I remember from back in my day. Clown, who is the leader of the UPSC, he used to be the head chair for training people in AT, where we had a really high fail rate because of how difficult our exams were, but I was the second chair under him in that department, and every time we passed someone, we knew for a fact that that single person could destroy everything in the AO, from ground targets to gunships, because of how rigorous our training was, and it was really, really fun. But otherwise, let's go ahead and look at the sectors. GREENFOR is a big amount of area to push up to on the map edge border itself, whereas BLUFOR has a bit of a river segregating their AOs here. So I'll be curious to see if BLUFOR sends a counterattack to try to hold this bridge here. That should be an interesting one, especially considering BLUFOR has that 117. But let's go ahead and look at Sector 1 here. Sector 1 is where BLUFOR spawn is. It's a little bit of a camp here, as well as containing their transport vehicles and whatnot. We got some nice little checkpoint, how would I put this? The checkpoints are from the mod ZEC, and it appears to be the modded version of CEC, which is actually, ever since a few months ago, was added to CUP in itself. So these are just some small bunker complexes and checkpoints added from that position. This little HESCO barrier with the fuel was pulled away. Yeah, it's a prefab, but it's a pretty well-fortified area. Not the best, I would say, but enough for BLUFOR to add a little bit of fortifications to it, because they only have $30 worth of fortifications, which means they only have a handful to make something like this little bunker complex right here. It's very limited, but it's going to force BLUFOR to really utilize everything to their building. We already see a squad charging up to potentially use this compound here, led by Emzikov, who is a fellow partnered member on Twitch, who I respect in that regard. But he is a really good Czech player, and he leads the rest of this Czech team to hopefully
keep chess?
Czech.
Oh,
Czechoslovakian, you little forehead. But That's okay. They are going to fortify this area and try to prevent GREENFOR from coming in. But overall, not a bad AO to start with. With this being only 2 sectors, though, I think BLUFOR is going to divide evenly among them. The second sector is in a small town itself. We already see a lot of forces being deployed within here, and they are going to try to fortify this to the best of their ability. This river, though, leaves a lot of room for BLUFOR to try to hold any vital checkpoints. GREENFOR, they do have 2 BTR-80s, which are amphibious, so they can't cross the water anytime. So holding this checkpoint might not be BLUFOR's best bet, but that river, it is a natural way to potentially try to catch some units out of position.
Looking at the map before I crashed out, it was looking like charging the bridgeheads and holding each of them would be a somewhat viable tactic for BLUFOR.
On what you say.
South of where their safe start ends. There is that bridgehead to the kind of southwest of that peninsula, as well as maybe just doing some wide patrols across the river itself. But if they utilize this correctly, it should be very hard for any GREENFOR forces to get across that river, and they'd be able to hold it pretty resolutely, I'd say.
Yeah, I could see BLUFOR doing some rush strategies out to try to cover the southern side of the river that's in no man's land right now, but with GREENFOR already getting mounted up and ready to charge Thunder Run style, I don't see BLUFOR holding the river area because it's just too much territory, especially some of it going out of their AO.
They need to get across it because, well, those are the most natural choke points and bottlenecks that exist for the most part.
117 is going to go across the river. It is also an amphibious No, it's not an amphibious vehicle.
No, I don't think it is. Did they just?
They might have just flooded the engine.
No, they got out. No, no.
No, the engine stopped as soon as it got fully submerged. If BLUFOR loses the 117 this early on, that's going to be very unfortunate. Because that was their BTR snipe asset. And if they might be able to get it up and repair, because now the engine isn't being flooded right now. So if they get a guy on the beach, they might be able to do some partial repairs. But,
oh, don't you love to see it?
I really hope they didn't ground it early. You see the tires are still working here, but... Yeah, you hear the engine clicking on and off. They're trying to inch it out, but... I think they just screwed it. Oh, that sucks, but...
Lord does have TSB, but okay.
That's not TSB, that's, Bacon Flavor Mountain. This would be, AA members. Anonymous, which is a joke on Alcoholics Anonymous, but that is, how they like to play. But, it's not TSB, Lord. My guys aren't responsible for everything, damn it. And the Revanche saying, did you know they don't pay by cash in Prague? Apparently, they all use checks.
Prague? You mean Prague?
Prague. It's a joke on the word Czech, as in Czechoslovakian.
Yeah, and I made one, and you wanted to like reach through the monitor and tear my throat out. You goddamn.
Yes, but I'm drunk, so I don't care. Anyway. Let's see, they're going to try to repair that vehicle, but they might have just completely flooded the engine and screwed it over, and they might just use it as a static turret to cover the river, so it's going to be really niche if that thing is, cover the river! Okay. Hey, the BTRs might go and turn into boats and just drive up the river instead, you never know. That 50 cal might still get some use. We'll see. Probably not, but hey, I've seen crazier shit in FNF. So anyway, I'm going to look on the faction sides real quick. Who do we have? So we have... some members of UPSC in BLUFOR here under Bravo, because I know Chilt's a part of them, Coda's another part of them as well, and we have the rest that have filled out in X-Ray. You have Arma Zeus and Arma Jesus in the same squad. That's not going to get confusing at all. And we also have Emzikov with his merry band of Czechoslovakian players, also under BLUFOR, and I do see, so overall some good veterancy players on that side. Yep.
I'm pretty sure all the Arma, deities are in their own, they're in the same squad or same unit.
Of course.
Because that would make sense, because we have Arma Jesus, Arma Zeus, and Arma Buddha, so I'm pretty sure that they all know each other to some degree. But secondly, when you're not checking the roster actively, can I ask you to hit backspace and make it go away so that the disconnect little notifications can come up. So if someone crashes, I can get back in the server.
Of course, of course. So I'm looking now. We have Scandi Recon on the GREENFOR side with some players of TSB. So We'll just have to see how that goes. But with this being a sector fight, what it means is that BLUFOR, as long as they have someone in the sector, GREENFOR cannot capture the sector when they enter it. However, if all of BLUFOR is unconscious or killed off in the sector, a single GREENFOR member within the sector will be able to capture it. So Sector 1 has a lot of guys on the outskirts of defense, and Sector 2 has the bigger grouping of defense. So what I'm thinking here is BLUFOR is going to try to hold GREENFOR off on Sector 1 to the best of their ability, stalling for time so that Sector 2 can be that much nastier fight. And you do see a mix of trenches and fortified tool HESCO barriers being made to help extend the Sector 2 zone to the south, anticipating that GREENFOR might try a water-based assault here, but we'll have to see. Meanwhile, GREENFOR... Yep.
Well, I was going to say, with the two sectors being so close to each other, I feel like
we'll have to see who's the better Arma player between Zeus and Jesus.
In second. I don't think burning the candle will do too much, but it's pretty much the best they got to work with. It looks like, yeah, they are dismounting, and there is no counter rush from BLUFOR, at least so far.
I would suspect that the counter rush was going to come from the 117, but they are opting to derelict it. They tried to bring a Humvee up to save it too, but they flooded it even worse. And they even just caused damage to it. They tried to ram it up, and they just knocked it deeper in the river.
God fucking
geniuses. Ah, yes. You see, if we leave it there, even though we're crewing it, that means the enemy can take it, which means we need to flood it to circumvent the enemy's plan. Perfect. It's 4D chess from Star Trek. Exactly. Otherwise, GREENFOR getting some forces on the bridge, trying to see if it is secure. You have this massive infantry charge coming in, where you have another infantry charge coming directly to the north. They're going to run into BLUFOR X-Ray, but we are seeing a classic pincer maneuver starting to start here, with half of the forces going to go up the left side of the map, try to get to Sector 2, while the other half is going to cross the bridge and get to Sector 1. That is a really good GREENFOR plan here, because they're going to try to attack both sectors at the same time to nullify the defenders' advantage of the clock. Because by attacking both sectors at the same time, they won't lose time by attacking one and then the other. So, good plan there by GREENFOR. And GREENFOR still has both of its BTRs, and with no risk of the 1117 Hunter Killer for the BTRs, one BTR is suppressing one pincer, supporting one pincer, and the other one is supporting the other. I apologize, I'm slurring my words and picking the wrong ones because I'm a little bit tipsy. Alright, so we're going to see probably another few minutes of maneuvering. We might see the left pincer here. I'm going to call the group that's still on the mainland on their side of the river, who is going to eventually come up and try to cross, potentially even assist the other pincer on attacking Sector 1 here, or just go around and start putting pressure on Sector 2, but they're going to run into BLUFOR X-Ray any moment, and BLUFOR at least knows...
Disconnected.
Yep, you can get on now.
I always wait for you to tell me to get on.
And you're coming back. I'm going to put my roster on again. So, Barb will join us again momentarily, but otherwise, GREENFOR is pushing. And you have Arma Zeus here trying to play dead as a leaned-over body. But we'll just have to see how things go. Lord, why do you bully TSV so much? They're not as bad as other groups I Zeus for actively, with all due respect to those groups.
Nah, call them the fuck out. Like...
Be nice to my boys. Don't be so mean.
Liru,
I doubt your community's any better.
My boys.
No bully TSP, because, again, TSP is actually pretty good. But otherwise, Keen is getting some recon data. They're watching GREENFOR run through their lines here, and that other GREENFOR force has mainly crossed the bridge and are starting to push in. So I want to see if GREENFOR is going to spot any of these X-Ray guys for BLUFOR. I think Aim at the Stars has spotted someone. No, he has not, but I am hearing some gunshots go off. That is units on the right side here. Flux and Keen trying to run to the riverbank so they can get low and run away. They're already triple timing. They're going for the river, trying to jump in as well to give themselves a little bit of a bonus, and they're running under the water as well. And now we're starting to see Arma Zeus and Arma Jesus putting some crossfire here to catch this GREENFOR group out in the open. Killer just got taken out. McCarthy is down. And Aim at the Stars actually got taken out there as well. Armored Zeus went unconscious, unfortunately, but this is X-Ray merely trying to stall that GREENFOR flank. Meanwhile, the other part of that GREENFOR flank starting to engage Flux as he gets across the river. He is trying to return fire, though, and King will join him momentarily. Again, really good players. And most of GREENFOR's force has gone prone trying to cover this sector. We're seeing B Short taking a few shots by Flux. Reaper's returning fire from a different flank, knocking Flux unconscious. Great call by a TSB player, if I might add. Otherwise, Arma Jesus picking off the other guy that was nearby, McCarthy. He is the solo survivor. The other Arma guy, which was Arma Zeus, is unfortunately dead, so Arma Jesus is pulling back. He doesn't have the marksman rifle. That went to a different player who is dead. Flux and King are dead because they took an entire force there.
I don't know if Sparky was playing. He's on GREENFOR with Iander and rest of Scandi.
Oh, JFX is playing?
Well, it says Sparky.
Neat. I hope he's not on our stream then. Yeah, but Sparky, he occasionally, he's a Zeus. He's also the guy that makes all my custom textures. But he might be the same guy. So we'll see.
I think so.
All right. But GREENFOR making this massive unified push across the river, as well as on the side that, how would I put it? Their side of the river and the opposite side of the river, having this nice little battle line pushing up. We have Arma Jesus, who's now running along the left side, trying to pull out. He's the last remaining survivor of X-Ray. But they did a really good job knocking out the entirety of Echo 1. But in exchange for their marksman, who I believe was Flux, might not be the best trade in the world, but we'll see. They made the best out of that situation. So now you have members of Charlie 2 for BLUFOR trying to stall GREENFOR's advance here, just trying to fight for time. Bassbeard putting some shots out. He's the Moz gunner, though, alone in front. BLUFOR is really putting their best weaponry in front. I don't get that.
Well,
like,
okay, best weaponry, yeah, but I was going to say, if you're going to say best players, like, it's Bassbeard, so temper your expectations.
Laura giving a sub to Martian. I thank you for that, because I know it is Martian's first stream. I hope you all keep enjoying the operations. Lord, I will use your money and the other guy's money. I'm sorry I'm blanking on your name for the pizza. Hope you keep enjoying the ops, man.
Right B, not the good you want to be overwhelmed by. Right shoots first, and, well,
that
a minute,
that made no sense. Because Mountain saw Right and didn't fire. Right then, like, literally swiveled to him and lined up the shot, and Mountain just stared at him. So if someone literally
that desert marpad hiding below.
Yeah, it's too white. You're gonna be given away. But if someone literally swivels and starts fixating where you are, you're dead. So you should start shooting, pop the smoke after you win the firefight and pull back, because otherwise you're screwed. Because BLUFOR right now is trying to send a few guys ahead to stall the GREENFOR advance, but GREENFOR has this unified battle line pushing up. Those single infantry guys aren't really going to do any stalling unless they score a kill or two and pop some smoke grenades and just add to the confusion of the battle line to try to stall that. But with 2 objectives instead of 3 for sectors, I would not be trying to play for the clock if I was in BLUFOR command shoes, because those 2 sectors, it's even though they're 50-minute rounds, it's not going to be enough. No, Revanche had the money. Thank you. Appreciate it, Lord.
Now crossing over that open field to get back to that second kind of, I guess you could call it a tree line, but essentially just giving them space and coming back to this main line of defense, because that fighting was some pretty, I mean, that was jungle fighting. That was tree to tree, very close quarters kind of fighting. So yeah, coming back to a more established line of defense at the sector itself, or actually south of the sector. Sector is the checkpoint itself. But,
so
where they got Emzikov and all the checks wrangled up in.
GREENFOR collapsed its left flank on their side of the river and instead is pulling it to the rear of the right flank to get all of its forces across. They still have a small group on the left side. It's probably going to follow through going along their side of the river to get Overwatch on Sector 2, but by combining that flank and just adding to this massive unified battle line, especially considering the space of this area between the black zone, which is out of bounds, and the river is less than a click for this many guys, we haven't seen a unified battle line play in FNF in a very long time, but this is the perfect AO for it. the advantages of it with this tight of a space and with the groups this close together is if BLUFOR, for example, Delta 2, starts coming under fire from GREENFOR Alpha 1 and GREENFOR Charlie as they push up, this one group for Bravo GREENFOR can swing over to this tree line right here next to Delta 2 where we currently have BLUFOR Charlie 2 elements and flank it, and then they can just encircle areas, wipe them out, and then continue pushing forward. So we're gonna see a battle line, a unified battle line in its perfect prime here in terms of a textbook definition. So I'm gonna be excited to see how this goes. The important part about the unified battle line, though, is all forces need to move in the same fashion. If forces start going ahead of others, like, for example, we're seeing the edge element on Bravo starting to get a little ahead of the rest of the battle line. If they go up without support from the rest of the line, they risk getting encircled and killed off. Not necessarily encircled, because if BLUFOR tries to do that, they'll run into the rest of the battle line, but BLUFOR will send reinforcements to Charlie 2's position, for example, and then contend with Bravo 2 and GREENFOR, if they don't send the forces quick enough, will just lose those forces in the battle line. But otherwise, we had Delta 2. I stalled because I saw Delta 2 start to engage Alpha 1, but GREENFOR Bravo 2 engaged those two elements of Charlie 2 for BLUFOR, and now we're going to see the unified battle line at work.
Yeah, right now, GREENFOR really wants to keep up that pressure and try and cause as much chaos. The fact that we have Bravo 2 over here on the east that's kind of wrapping around.
Scandy is on GREENFOR, UPSE is on BLUFOR.
Southeast, if they can really do some damage on the flanking push, line up this check defense line to the south of Sector 1, and really just open it up for a fast take of the sector with so much time left on the clock, I think it's really going to assist GREENFOR and making this a decisive victory. But
both BTRs, by the way, have crossed the river. One is going to the right side of the unified battle line, the other one on the left, so they're keeping their armored support unified in this push. I think GREENFOR has a really solid strategy here. They just need to continue to move their forces along the battle line, and when they run into contact, the commander, who in this case is Azariah, of course it is, he needs to make sure that he has his platoons maneuver when they need to. So again, Bravo 2 is going to continue to go forward and then hook left and circle this first sector and hopefully just steamroll it. And then they'll just rinse and repeat for Sector 2.
Sector 2. Yeah. No, I'm absolutely with you. With the limited area they have to work with, that just straight across battle line isn't too terrible of an idea. They've pumped up more to the west now, using the lower ground by the river to kind of go around the defenses. So they'll run into Panzer if they continue along this river, and then from there they can use the rocks in the hill to maybe set up a base of fire and get some shots on both Emzikov's garrison up here to the south, as well as Theki and Dardis and all these guys here at the checkpoint sector.
So one thing I noticed was Echo 2 for GREENFOR was firing at the smoke grenades thrown by Alpha 1, but I think they quickly rectified that before it turned into an actual blue-on-blue incident. But with the fact there's only 2 sectors, there is still 35 plus 2, 36 and a half minutes left to go. GREENFOR has a lot of time here to work with. They could probably get Sector 1 in 15 minutes tops, leaving the rest to maneuver on and get Sector 2. But with this massive maneuvering of Bravo and a Gamma element, which is one of the APCs who has rode up the right flank. By the way, it's Stanners and T5 Bay in that BTR. T5 Bay, my second best pick for best players in FNF. Let's see, is he gunning? No, he is driving and allowing Stanners to gun. So, him supporting this element...
Stanners to gun. I like that phrasing.
Okay, look.
T5 Bay's
T5 Bay is the type of guy to literally get behind 5 or 6 dudes and just murder them all. We've seen it time and time again. Do you remember Trinaris Winter in... what's the top right town called? The big one. Berzino. Do you remember when he got behind 5 guys and just annihilated them all? By the apartment complexes. Him alone.
Yeah,
it was brutal. But he does that like at least once every few weeks. And him gunning in a vehicle is no exception. But I know he drives as well. Go ahead.
Blade and Emzikov and all their guys.
I play favorites because they've earned it.
Dropped. One of them did just outside, and it was Mispier. Mispier got dropped. He was light AT, and they actually are leaving that.
Yep, they're mounting up that Vic. They're going to drive out and try to get reinforce the sector itself, realizing that GREENFOR is starting to push up and get close to their position.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest.
And they're bugging out. It's not a terrible idea.
I agree with that, but you got to consider BLUFOR's place here. Does BLUFOR know that Bravo is, for GREENFOR, is all the way up there? Because if they're leaving that defensive line early just because they're coming under contact, that means BLUFOR's plan is to just constantly pull back to Sector 2 as they take contact.
I wouldn't say
which means they're
so much. I think there was a lot of suppressive fire going in on their point on that.
Yeah, but they've made a battle line to deal with the Southwest. So when that battle line starts getting tested, why do you instantly fall back? What that tells me is that BLUFOR's plan is to keep inching back to Sector 2, again, trying to just eat up time on that clock, because now they're going to set up a defensive line on Sector 1 itself. But with only 2 sectors, I don't think that's the best idea, because if there's a 3rd sector behind Sector 2 where they could do that, definitely. No-brainer. You know? Work that battle line, but with only 2 sectors, that means a third of that time on the clock isn't going to be eaten up naturally. So you're really putting a lot of faith in your defensive lines, so that there are going to be some positions, I would assume, at Sector 1 where they're going to hold. But I'm already seeing BLUFOR remount, and they're going to pull back. And that's going to mean there's going to be another 30 minutes of game time for GREENFOR to spend a third of that at most maneuvering, and then 20 minutes attacking Sector 2 itself. I don't see it. I think GREENFOR is just going to be able to overpower this one. Go ahead.
I think you're right on the nose, because BLUFOR now is very much leaving Sector 1, mounting up in that big old transport truck and getting the heck out of Dodge.
Or giving us up to Old Man Briscoe.
Bassbeard, Navy Fisher, and Bacon all still.
Is that a joke on Law and Order?
I think they were part of
my favorites.
Bacon.
Thanks so much. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a kick out of this.
Themselves. But they're holding back here. I don't know if they're doing like a suicide defense kind of deal.
They have to be. Just to stall the clock.
4IB now coming in from the south, approaching under the cover of Paladin and Coac and Stathenberger's groups over here to the south. So they're going. They're
running on foot,
and they might get opened up on. But I mean, they're falling back.
They're running on foot. I don't get it. Like, okay, don't get me wrong, I get the strategy, because I've seen the strategy time and time again, but on this AO, and they're even detonating the explosive charges early without confirmation. I don't like it. They're thinking GREENFOR is maneuvering a lot quicker than they are, but I have the bias of knowing Azariah, aka Lone Survivor of Us. He's very methodical with where he puts his forces, but BLUFOR is just assuming what GREENFOR is doing, and they're going off of that, when in reality, they're just allowing GREENFOR to do massive maneuvers to gain time on the clock, compared to just holding them back and eating the clock. I don't know.
Eating the clock being a superior maneuver to win on defense, but I think
G-Legs just had his round caught in the tree. Oh no, it went by.
Garrisons at the last minute. BLUFOR command went, no, bring him back with how much fire is it. And to be fair, they have a very good pincer movement coming in. If they had
a flare,
they would have just died. I don't think that would have been too
much.
No,
I agree, but it would have stalled the clock, which is exactly what BLUFOR is trying to do here. They're instead doing a unified defense on Sector 2, which for a 30-minute fight, well, okay, it'll be a 25-minute fight considering GREENFOR's maneuvering, the fact that G-Legs is still in the AO trying to stall with his GL, but there's too many forces to overpower this. A 25-minute fight on a single sector is going to purely risk it to PvP instead of working the clock to your angle. Yeah. I think if BLUFOR kept this force right here, but pulled back half of it, at least keeping gamma elements in the AO to hold to stop this unified push coming in, I think it would have at least bought them an extra 5 minutes, which could very well make the difference for this round.
No doubt. I will say also, taking a look from the checkpoint itself, defending through that jungle, even though it's only maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 meters, like 20 meters thick at certain points, but not that thick is what I'm trying to say. But the
not
fact
that
that it's
thick,
there
he
would
says.
make that a semi-decently hard.
Hi, I'm tall. Do
Yeah,
exclamation point
exactly, but
FNF.
They have capture now, so that's
Foxtrot.
But
Mega
yeah, I feel
Foxtrot.
like they went, you know what?
What's
we have a
M
much
in the
better
military
and
alphabet? I
widely
forget.
defensible position back towards Sector 2, so I think they elected to hold that. I'm with you as far as, yeah, like I said, burning that clock and, you know, getting rid of something that GREENFOR can't get back.
Mary,
no matter
that's it.
what.
No, N is November. I mean M as in Mike. Yeah, no, it would be Mike. You're right.
I don't know. I feel
Mike
like
or
this is
Michael.
going to be BLUFOR's best chance in the same way.
So, I mean, let's look at BLUFOR's AO, because I'll give them a little bit more credit here. They have some massive open fields to work with in defending against GREENFOR's push here, and they identified that GREENFOR has a lot of their forces, if not completely, on this side, meaning they can stall them in this open field. And if we look towards the border, GREENFOR only has a little bit of room to get on the tree-lined edge on the eastern side where you have BLUFOR, Charlie 2 elements, and Gamma right now to walk that in for a little bit of cover. So I could see GREENFOR stalling units out from this open field. You have Echo 2 for BLUFOR digging this massive trench line with, that's UPSE elements who are the best of the cream of the crop, similar to Scandi Recon, to hold this line. So they have their veteran players covering this. Also, we have Legs, who just got walked up on by Paladin and mag dumped, unfortunately. But they're going to try to hold this open field. The issue is BLUFOR lost their 1117 early on in the river because they didn't realize that it wasn't amphibious and tried to rescue it, and they made it worse with that Humvee. So GREENFOR has those 2 BTRs to give fire support. So where is the Charlie 2 gunner? For
legal action, it was Echo 2. He's on an M2 static.
Yep.
So he has the ability, along with Wheaton, elsewhere in this sector. They're both set up on rooftops inside the town itself, but they definitely have that ability to pierce through the beast.
You're right. So those M2s have made really good positions. I really like Legal Action's fire port here for the M2, watching down that MSR. And then if you look, Bassbeard, who is the Charlie 2 Matt gunner for that reloadable RPG with his assistant Navy, they have that. It's not even it's not an RPG, it's a Maz, my bad, but either way, it's a reloadable AT. They have 6 rounds between them, and they're on a little bit of a hill, so they can deny any BTRs pushing through, and they have the ammo, 3 shots per BTR to make those hits. So BLUFOR is really banking on holding this open field, and in the past, defending factions that have all this open terrain are actually going to be more successful than other events where there's more forest for GREENFOR to move up on. So I actually see BLUFOR's strategy now. I see why they pulled back from Sector 1. They're going to try to hold this pretty hard.
Trying to say with that first sector, that jungle, like, they didn't have these big fields. Yes,
exactly, Lord. Thank you for the military alphabet.
Southern Garrison, which is why I'm kind of surprised they gave that up so easily, like we were talking about. But yeah, comparing the Sector 2 immediate perimeter on the front versus, Sector 1's perimeter versus to Sector 2's perimeter. Yeah, Sector 2's perimeter. Look at these big open fields. You can shoot from miles.
Yep, they wanted all hands on deck on this sector, realizing that GREENFOR, the attacking faction, was using all of their force to push up this MSR. And even then, they still have Alpha over here as a vanguard force, but they're realizing that their attacking faction, GREENFOR, is pushing everything up there, so they're starting to adjust this force to pull around. The question will become, can Azariah see this issue and pull forces around? The one issue I am seeing, though, is BLUFOR is not washing the southeastern flank, and we already see the entirety of Bravo starting to come up this forest. That's going to take out the Charlie 2 team with that Maz and open it for the BTRs to push with infantry over this open area, or you'll see the entirety of GREENFOR start shifting to the southeast along this forested area to start bypassing BLUFOR's defense line and get into the sector itself. Who's commanding here? It's Pads, who's a good player in his own right. He's gaming with Pickles on the multi, by the way, but will he be able to send forces to adapt to hold off against GREENFOR Bravo?
I think it's going to depend on when they get spotted. If they get word from Bassbeard or Navy, I think actually Bassbeard has spotted them. He's looking out into the woods. I'm not seeing anyone. I think you might be hearing that faint BTR engine from that golf group. But otherwise, yeah, it's just gonna be on when they actually spot them, when shots start flying out. You do
Barb, real quick. Give me 2 seconds of radio sounds. All right, they don't hear that BTR, but they definitely just heard that BTR open up. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, good. Gotcha. Well, something tipped him
Trying
off.
to snipe Snam out right there.
Through those trees now. Might take a shot here. He does have a clean line of fire. Come on, Bassbeard.
There's the shot.
I think it was low.
It was low. It caught the tree in front of it, so that BTR. It is T5 Bay and Sanders, two really good players on Friday Night Fights. They saw that explosion. They're immediately repositioning, so Bay is trying to back that BTR up. Bassbeard, with his assistant, will still have 5 shots to go, but at least that stopped that BTR from covering that angle. And you're also seeing Bravo give away their position for GREENFOR as they engage Panzer and Verzo, who are a part of... Let me quickly check their squad here, if I can get a click on them. They are part of Delta 2, who is the internal defense, but they're being shot at by their own guys.
So Standards and T5A, they did the right thing by pulling back and changing their position. T5A actually hopping into the commander's seat and trying to spot for the gunner, trying to target that team for Standards in the turret. Now Bassbeard, he's still looking around to find that target again. He can't see it. Just a bit too much terrain in the way. But yeah, T5A and Standards absolutely playing this correctly. Repositioning, not sitting in the same spot. When a rocket comes in, usually there's going to be more following it.
24 minutes, 8 seconds remaining. GREENFOR doing a really good job. You're seeing Azariah shifting all of his forces. He's keeping one element, which is now just the BTR, to harass that trench line. And that trench line's firing at GREENFOR as they try to come into this tree line here to push in with some concealment and cover to get close to that trench line. Seeing some return fire going off as well. I think Az is doing a really good job, aka Lone Survivor of Us, who is the GREENFOR commander, in getting his forces to bypass this BLUFOR line to get into that sector. But BLUFOR with UPSC, again, best players, I would say, cream of the crop, similar to Scandi Recon, if not superior because of what happened in FNF Titans, is doing their best to hold. Well, okay, if you 3-0 Scandi Recon in a community versus community bracket, that gives you the right to say you're better than SR, in my opinion.
Like Superman versus Batman. How much time does Batman get to prepare? It's that kind of argument.
According to Titans, 2 minutes. You get 2 minutes to prepare before the round begins. But we got our core bandaging and BLUFOR, of course. But BLUFOR is pulling off of that trench line, realizing that GREENFOR is coming close. They're going to resort to a town defense, and I'm going to be honest, it might not be enough, especially with this trench line now, which helps obscure BLUFOR's lines, and GREENFOR could potentially go on the opposite side of this trench line and use it to their advantage to overwatch the town with how far it extends. I think BLUFOR might bite itself in the ass, which is why UPSC is actually sending its forces back, realizing that that might not be the best call.
You hold the line, or we shoot you for retreating and being cowards.
All right, Commissar Barbarian, but let's be honest here. If they lose this trench line and give it to GREENFOR, I think GREENFOR might be able to just complete the steamroll here.
Yeah, no, I think this is absolutely the best plan of action, and BLUFOR didn't really seem to...
Best case for GREENFOR.
Yes, best case for GREENFOR, going through this tree line where the defilade works in their favor, giving them both cover and concealment to push up. Rocket goes out.
Don't get me wrong, BLUFOR has dug some new trench lines to hold against that GREENFOR advance, but they don't have enough manpower on it yet. I'm thinking UPSC might come back and get on those trench lines because they're the giant trench models, which is why they're so big. Ooh woo. But GREENFOR has...
To the west, we do have BLUFOR and GREENFOR X-Ray coming into contact with each other. Pierce is opening up with the SPD, but is looking the complete opposite direction as a research.
I think BLUFOR is going to be able to jump from research, has a really good firing arc right here, and this BLUFOR group's going to hear him. Yep. There's the headshots on Husky. Husky's taken out. Pierce now adjusting, but he is in the open with no cover. There's the headshot on Pierce, and there goes GREENFOR X-Ray. So both marksmen, both on BLUFOR and GREENFOR squads have been taken out. So really good Vanguard opportunity by Alpha for BLUFOR, but will it be enough? And I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be a close one. We're gonna really see the PvP come down here, but GREENFOR, with this trench line to work with, can actually make a small concave and start attacking both the southern side of the town and the southeastern side of the town because of all this cover that's been dug.
Yeah, it's right on the ridge.
You're already seen GREENFOR use it.
It's perfect for BLUFOR.
Look at 2600 right here. Literally using that to his advantage, though. This is what I was worried about for BLUFOR, because now GREENFOR is just going to take that trench line.
You have the French RCC guys over to the west.
Fire back.
They're pulling back as well, though. Shouldn't have even mentioned the French. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think this is going to be a great opportunity for Green to set up its own base of fire and to pretty much repeat what it did getting up to this point, sending a group off to the east through defilade, behind cover, and just getting around the defensive line. If they go right where Ash and Tackleberry are, if they were to go north of that hill on the other side of the fork in the road, like that would be a great position to work around to the north side and start hitting that sector. A lot of guys up there now. They've repositioned a lot of BLUFOR infantry, dug a lot of trenches. This is going to be cracks. So they're finally
watch Gamma 2's BTR right here. It has the opportunity to go up in the open areas to the right of Sector 2 and potentially open up a new flank. We could also see GREENFOR potentially mount up on a BTR and completely open a new avenue of attack, especially on this forested patch. That would still run into BLUFOR's defensive line, but at least open up a new angle. So Azariah does have that option if he wants to take it. But it looks like, no, he is! Look at the second BTR! That's exactly what he's doing!
Yep.
God, I love Azariah! Look, here's the deal, Barb. If you train people on what to do in these situations as a Zeus that's been doing this for 5 years, and you see them execute what they're supposed to after that training is concluded, you can't help but feel a little bit proud when you see it in the spectator interface. All right, that's just me personally.
Exactly the same thing, though, but
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
The stacked up BTR, but I call that position and that route just like a minute before you started talking about it.
I apologize on that, but I didn't hear it. But I'm still saying I'm just happy to see that, you know, some of the training that Sniper Wolf, What's That, and I used to do back in the day, rubbing off on some of the old guard of TSB. So now we're actually seeing it in action, and I can't help but root for my people.
Have you rubbed off?
And FNF. Shut the fuck up. So that GREENFOR force has deployed the entirety of Alpha, which is 4IB and TSB and Eander from Scandi Recon and Infidel as well. They're going to attack from the rear and completely outflank BLUFOR. I love it. I absolutely love it. And they still have about 16, 17 minutes to work with here to attack this sector.
18 actually. 18 and counting.
18 minutes. No, 50 seconds, but
18 minutes and counting. T minus 18 minutes. So it's counting
technical
down.
on me.
Correct. Fuck you. Standard's not pulling up along the MSR, assisting this northern group, giving a nice little base of fire. I love what Bay is doing. Bay is actually like starting up their engine, moving, and then cutting their engine.
He's inching up to allow Stanners to. Actually, that's Rust's BTR. My bad. But where's oh no, he's on the MSR. He's actually pretty far around. So he's covering
Sparky's dead for Foxtrot 2. Sparky gets down. 0 kills to their name. I knew they were shooting.
Oh, that BTR just annihilated somebody, knocking out Riccardi as well. Slipperjero trying to pull back. Great play by the BTR, going on the right flank, but it takes a rocket. Actually, minimal damage there. It might have hit the front little duckbill of the BTR, causing only a scratch. And it is now returning fire.
On the bridge of the nose, right on the front of the BTR.
Yeah, that's not one of the best places to hit a BTR, because that's just part of the, whatchamacallit, the shape of the front of the BTR, which is shaped that way to basically deflect tank shells and whatnot. But it looks like they are dismounting as a precaution, and T5 Bay is repairing the vehicle. Something got hit there, as Sanders is now trying to get some pickoff kills from his AK.
Of course. It might have jammed the turret or damaged the gun or something. The gun is looking kind of...
I'm sorry, Lucifer.
I
can't help it.
More depressed than usual. But yeah,
so,
Stark is actually... He's not waiting for any support. He's running in there, gun on his back and everything.
Yeah, he's charged in. That's really good. He's pulled that weapon out. BLUFOR now dividing their forces among holding the small group of GREENFOR coming in from the northeastern flank, but by pulling forces away, that's allowing GREENFOR to get on this massive trench line and start harassing BLUFOR.
I just saw Stark bad frag himself. He tried to throw it in one of the windows.
Amazing.
Unlucky. physics just didn't work with them, that's all.
But we got that BTR repaired. It's now coming up to support on the northern side.
Stark.
Well, no, T5 Bay and Sanders. I don't mean to play favorites, but I've never seen them blue on blue before.
You've always played favorites.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, I've seen, even Scandi Recon has blue on blue, but I've never seen Sanders in T5 Bay blue on blue before.
Making a play, possibly. He is a combat engineer trying to...
Yep, he's pushing.
Gets Wasp.
He takes a hit in the leg, but he is still going to push along that trench. Oh! Wisp immediately notices that. Paladin does not. He pushes up and kills Lethal Action, but he gets cleaned by that satchel.
Could have been worse. Could have been
Look
worse.
look at all the dead guys on GREENFOR, though, by Lethal Action taking out the far western flank of GREENFOR's push. Nemesis coming up to rejoin, checking the bodies to make sure if there's anyone he can save. Otherwise, Sank2 now returning fire here. That was a great play by Lethal Action to stall the western flank, and you're seeing GREENFOR bodies stacked up on this trench as they are committing to this push, but GREENFOR is starting to run out of manpower. It's really going to rely on the fact that you have this northern force coming around. You have Vlad coming around on the rear of that northern force with a truck, but he now pulls away into friendly territory to the west. And now you're starting to see GREENFOR getting on top of this position. Sorry, go ahead. Foyka with the kill.
Also engaged. I mean, just a lot of engagements up here, but like they're all 3-1 in advantage of BLUFOR.
Yep.
To the players up for the attacking side down on this end of town, but they're staying alive and really taking a lot of BLUFOR down with them. But they are down slowly but surely.
I'm going to be honest, GREENFOR is starting to look a little light. If you look on the skulls on the left side, look at Bravo 2, for example, which was that initial force that pushed on the forested area and got on the trench line. A lot of their guys are down on this trench itself, and BLUFOR might just be able to hold. I just saw Foyka get shot by Money there. And we just have Infidel and Reapers, a member of SR and TSP respectively, trying to breach in. And that Vlad is driving around with the truck running interference for the BTR as the BTR tries to target it, but GREENFOR is running out of steam and, more importantly, manpower here, and BLUFOR might just be able to hold because of plays like what Lethal Action did, taking out so many guys on that flank.
I mean, he only really took out one, but he did definitely stall them out. And
well, no, it was before that. He still was engaging and taking out guys on the trench line.
Yeah. Sure.
Wow, Barb. Okay. I see how it is.
I'm just kidding, but no, yeah. These individual players sort of stack up.
Trade right there.
Like I think BLUFOR has this. GREENFOR, I think they spread out.
They're taking blue on blue by 4IB.
Really getting a spearhead into the town, and it shows. Like a few people on the north side, which the angle they came in was arguably the easiest way to get in, and they just
also got picked off
anywhere near enough. They tried to do what they could with the BTR as well, but now it's pulled back again. I think it got struck by one of the M2s.
Yeah, there's another BTR that's cooking off, by the way. I think the attack just fell apart here because BLUFOR was able to maneuver units around and just get so many kills off the sides. But because BLUFOR just did that unified pulling back, they've just been able to keep everyone safe. And I mean, for example, you have Reapers and Infidel. Now, Reapers is still unconscious right now, but SL Dream outflanking Infidel here, getting some shots up. Just stopping the rest of this attack because they're the only two left. Eander with a few other 4IB guys were taken out. And I think BLUFOR is actually going to be able to hold with quite a lot of units here.
And now, actually, Standards and T5A have pulled around to the west side of town and are trying to ease up the pressure on the south side. Or, sorry, ease up the defense is probably a better way to put that. But they're doing what they can. I just think that it's a bit too little too late. They could
it's GG. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Regroup.
Yeah.
I think the number of GREENFOR that they still have, if they were to really organize and do...
Okay, no. Open the map and look at Sector 2. It's GG. It's GG. Too many guys died on the trench line. I don't know where it went wrong, though, is the issue. I think they just lost too many people on the trench line itself. They needed to ferry more guys around, but even then, a lot of them got picked off. I think it's just a matter of the AO. BLUFOR did a really good job baiting GREENFOR to come to the AO, but just with this many forces, which is why they kept doing that those large pull-offs, I think it was just there was enough buildings for BLUFOR to kind of fortify everything and pull a good 360 and utilize this AO in itself.
Ooh, another good kill from the BTR. Sanders on 8.
Yeah, getting some good pickoffs, penetrating with that 14.5, but you have Dreams running up. Is he an engineer? He is. He's going to throw a satchel on it.
Oh, Dream, you Tesco bag, just madman. I don't even know what to call you at this point.
I think he's going to try to set it up on the BTR's rear itself and then dead it.
He just has to pop it and then run away. And
nope, he throws it instead.
Perfect. Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Oh! Great use of an explosive. T5 Bay is down. Sanders quickly trying to dismount. He spots Dreams and manages to take him out, but the BTR getting taken out was GREENFOR's biggest advantage here. I think there's just too many forces in BLUFOR to hold here.
That last kill puts
Sanders taken out.
Double digits. He gets 10 kills for the round, but I think it's going to be a very pyrrhic.
Whoa, are you kidding? 10 kills. Awesome. Great job by that BTR, but it just wasn't enough. The infantry fell short because BLUFOR just had too many guys in this town to defend in this all eggs in one basket approach, and it just worked.
Chibi is right. Liru says he's proud of GREENFOR and the entire push falls apart. Why must commentators curse things like this?
Commentators curse.
I really can't.
Infidel died. Traded with Mattis, who could still be medic back up, but you're right. Commentators curse. GREENFOR fell apart.
As did drop on the trench line, so he was one of those many casualties that you were...
Michelangelo, thank you so much for the 6-month resub. Rip BTR indeed. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you're going to kick out of this.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was criticizing. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's just great maneuvers from GREENFOR. Like what you said about them actually thinking stuff through and maneuvering properly. Like that wasn't false, but just it didn't really work out in this case.
It is entirely possible to make no mistakes and still lose. That's just life, and I think that's just the nature of this AO. BLUFOR has a lot of buildings.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right? Star Trek references, but GREENFOR did everything correctly, but it's just the open areas of the AO to reach into this sector that caused them to lose. I mean, we just saw Skip clean up the rest of the guys on the GREENFOR trench line that was taken, but I really don't have something to say for what GREENFOR should have done differently. I would have made the exact same plan here and still lost.
At least
so
generally. No, I feel like it was
nature of the AO,
forward, but not confining this AO. As far as they have this thin stretch of the peninsula to work up until they get to Sector 1. After that, it really opens up. But I feel like I don't know. I don't want to say they didn't utilize it because they really did work around the defenses. They didn't slam their head into the wall and then grumble when it didn't work or when they got bloodied. They kept maneuvering and trying to outpace and outposition themselves. And I mean,
really, it's the nature of the town because it's a thin little strip of buildings, but there's enough here for you to work with, and they fortified them really effectively, utilizing the 50 cals especially. And they made a defense line to the west, and then that trench line to the southeast. But more importantly, the one to the east itself to cover that attack. I don't think this AO would have been hittable even if GREENFOR split their force and had them cross the river and come up, because we still have BLUFOR X-ray elements with, it's just Arma Jesus, but he's joined up with his buddies. He's on 5 kills, by the way, but, they would have still been able to hold that sector because Alpha for BLUFOR was still covering the western flank. It's rare when I see this, but I think BLUFOR just had a perfect defense strategy that just cannot be beaten in this area.
What the shit that you gave to the first sector defense just caving in almost immediately was kind of what saved them, because they were able to spread out.
I didn't realize this style of AO though for Sector 2. That changes everything in perspective. I was worried for BLUFOR, but BLUFOR just had it based on the size of this AO.
No, I feel you. No, I'm absolutely with you though. Their planning wasn't bad. It just wasn't. The cards didn't fall in their favor. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Skip out to get his 5th kill on Koek here, just cleaning up.
Yeah, it's a cleanup. Is that all of GREENFOR? No, there's one more guy left, but I mean, just look at the roster. Look at all of the BLUFOR guys still alive. This wasn't even close at the end of the day.
Like around 15, 20 or so BLUFOR still up.
My God. Just a stomp out at that point. Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we? Who's the last guy? It's a 4IB member by Banks, and he's already under fire. But I really don't know what GREENFOR could have done differently in this AO. Normally I know, but there goes Banks, and that's GG. Nearly at the hour mark.
Freaking G. Alright, order your pizza.
I am, don't worry, but just look at all the BLUFOR guys still alive here. Look at all the tracers going up in the air. It's just... It's rare where we find an AO where I honestly don't know what went wrong, because everything looked right, you know? It just fell apart to the PvP at the end.
Which is what BLUFOR was banking on, and they were right to do so, apparently. If it's stupid but it works, it isn't stupid.
Straight from the horse's mouth. Just fell apart, and sometimes it happens.
Oh, I thought you were calling me stupid.
No. Do you not know that phrase, straight from the horse's mouth?
Well, I guess not.
Go look it up. It's a good phrase. Like, it wasn't even...